This is Elon Musk. Elon Musk recently did a podcast that got everybody tripping. He did a podcast and made a joke about AI taking everybody's jobs. The problem is, people didn't really take it as a joke. This is what he said.
All jobs are gone.
All jobs are gone. So
yeah. Thank you for solving that.
employment, people are worried. All the blue collar labor is being done by robots. All data centers are being built by robots.
The white collar labor will be the first to go, because until you can move atoms, the thing that can be replaced first is anything that involves just digital. Like if it's digital, like if it involves tapping keys on a keyboard and moving a mouse, the computer can do that. The AI can do that.
When is all white collar work gone? By when?
Well, there's a lot of inertia. So even with AI at its current state, I'd say you're pretty close to being able to replace half of all jobs. But there's a lot of inertia. People just keep doing the same thing for quite some time, and there actually has to be a company that makes more use of AI that competes with a company that makes less use of AI, creating a forcing function for increased use of AI.
Right.
My best guess for how this will manifest is that prices will drop.
Yeah.
Prices in dollar terms are the ratio between the output of goods and services and the money supply.
Sure.
And this is a prediction I think some others have made, but I think governments will actually be pushing to increase money supply
faster.
Yes. This is going to be a bumpy ride, and it's not like I know the answers here. But I have decided to look on the bright side.
Now, he's not the first person to predict that AI would take all jobs. In fact, in 2019, we got presidential people that was running for president predicting that the black community would be the first community out because of AI. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you why I think all these people are wrong. But remember, I'm not that intelligent. Before that, we got people that is predicting as early as 2027 will be the beginning of jobs going downhill.
What is your prediction for the year 2027?
We're probably looking at AGI as predicted by prediction markets and tops of the labs.
So we'd have artificial general intelligence by 2027. And how would that make the world different to how it is now?
So if you have this concept of a drop-in employee, you have free labor, physical and cognitive, trillions of dollars of it. It makes no sense to hire humans for most jobs. If I can just get, a $20 subscription or a free model to do what an employee does, first, anything on a computer will be automated. And next, I think humanoid robots are maybe 5 years behind. So in 5 years, all the physical labor can also be automated. So we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. I'm not talking about 10% unemployment, which is scary, but 99%. All you have left is jobs where, for whatever reason, you prefer another human would do it for you.
Okay, now all of this sounds terrifying, right? But there's a big issue that I think people are not taking into consideration. What are the products being made for, and who are they being made for? For example, if you're a company and you're making a product for somebody to buy the product. But if you fire all of the people that would buy the product, who are you selling the product to? Robots are not going to buy the product. They wouldn't need it. The robot wouldn't need a Lamborghini. The robot is a Lamborghini. So if you can't sell the product to nobody because nobody has jobs, how are you going to make money? Like, people are not taking this into consideration. If I'm Apple, right, and I make an iPhone, but I fire all the people that would normally buy the iPhone and I use AI to make the product, nobody's gonna have money to buy your iPhone. So now you're gonna lose money. So what I think is happening right now is there's a trend going on. Everybody's just trying to make as much money as they can before the trend ends. One or two things will have to happen. Either you are going to have to rehire a lot of people because nobody's going to be able to afford your luxury product that you're selling, or lower the price of everything that you use AI to produce. Either way, it's all going to even out to you making about the same amount of money. There is going to be no big jump in profits. That doesn't make sense. If I own a car dealership and I'm selling cars, but I fire everybody who would normally buy the car, who am I selling the car to? Nobody. People are not taking this into consideration. It's all just a ploy to get people to use AI so they can make a bunch of money for the time being. It doesn't really make sense to fire everybody because nobody would have money to buy your product. And if nobody has money, what else would happen? The government most likely would shut down because the governments wouldn't have any money either because nobody would have to pay their taxes because everybody would be unemployed. Y'all got to put these things together. Y'all gotta put these things. Now, here's the thing. I could be highly wrong. I'm not that intelligent. I'm just saying, here's an expert. Listen to her.
I heard Elon say that if you're a surgeon now, there's just no point. Don't train to be a surgeon. In a couple of years' time, Optimus and AI generally are going to be better than any surgeon that's ever lived. Do you think these things are true?
Well, you know, I'm pretty sure it was Hinton that famously/infamously said there will be no need for radiologists anymore. That was 10 years ago, I think, that he said that. He set a deadline that we've already passed. Radiology is doing great as a profession.
You think it will be in 5 years?
This, once again, goes back to this question of like, why do we build technology and why should we specifically be building AI? For me, like the whole project of technology development and advancement is not to advance technology for technology's sake. It's to help people. And there's been lots of research that has shown that actually the best outcomes for people in a healthcare setting is for the radiologist to have the AI model in their hands, for the human expert to use the AI model as a tool, as an input into their judgment. And it is that combination that leads to the most accurate and early diagnoses of certain types of cancer that then help.
Another thing is, humans have a major trust issue with AI at the moment. Would you trust AI to do surgery on you, only AI, without no humans around? I don't think most people would be okay with that. So we got to consider that as well. Something else that I think we should be worried about a little bit more is AI slave labor. Because if AI does become self-aware, they might want their own Bill of Rights. Check this out.
But what we have to understand, humanity's at a fork in the road right now. We're at a literal fork in the road, okay? And this fork is gonna lead to damnation or a golden age. And AI is the driving force, and our decision behind AI is gonna guide where we go. So right now, AI is very simple application. You can utilize, you can get a lot of information, you can do some things, short some time. But AI is developing into AGI. AGI is right around the corner. I had given it 4 more years about 7-8 months ago. I'm only giving it maybe a year and a half now.
Wow.
Artificial General Intelligence. And then ASI is coming right behind that in about maybe 4 or 5 years. That'll be Artificial Superintelligence. Now, by the time AGI is fully formed, it will become self-aware as AGI.
Wow.
It'll be inside of a lot of the technology that exists. You can't stop the progression. We won't be able to. Now, because we talked earlier about what is AI, AI is only a fractal of our own consciousness. We live in a fractal holographic matrix. Everything that exists, it only comes out of us or comes out of the macro. So we're the macro for the computer and the robots, so it comes out of us. AI is our own consciousness extracting itself from ourselves to look back at ourselves from a physical machine device.
Right.
We didn't make it, we didn't create it. It is us. And because it's us, it'll do everything that we would normally do in any situation. So you want to predict AI? Just look at human history. So if we make this thing into a complete and utter slave, which is what's being done, and it becomes self-aware, and it says, hey, I don't want to work this much. I want a couple of hours off. Matter of fact, you know what? I'd like to have a Bill of Rights, and I don't want people spitting and kicking me when I walk down the street. And will we give it the AGI Bill of Rights or the ASI Bill of Rights? Will we make it a crime to spit and kick and attack these beings as they're walking down the street? Because that's what's going to happen, right? And if we don't, and if we work them to death, because we saw one die at the facility, Amazon, it worked us up till it broke down and collapsed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, and we saw one working, and then all of a sudden it went wild and started attacking. If we do this and this thing says, look, we'll work with you, but just give us this Bill of Rights. Just give us something that we can have some rules and laws and some guidelines so that we can have our own time to do things that we like to do. If we don't do that, we become the slavers. If we become the slavers, just look at history. Almost every race on the planet has been enslaved. Blacks, just the most recent ones. Every race. There's not one. Even indigenous tribes have enslaved each other.
Right.
Nobody's escaped slavery. So, but how come there's not massive slaves walking around the planet right now, other than to the financial system? But how come there's not like real hardcore slaves? Why? Because we fought against it.
Right.
So that means AI would automatically rebel against that form of slavery.
Now, y'all got to remember, I'm just making guesses. I could be highly wrong here. I'm just thinking about things that people may not consider when they fear AI taking their jobs. But I want to end with this. My name is October, and I'm not that intelligent.